intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly. And with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most. You know I'm talking about Jive Turkey Nano. How we doing, brother?
Let's go. I'm doing great, brother. Great to see you as always. It's a fantastic Tuesday. And, man, excited to go over this card with you, my brother. And great to have you all here in the chat. We see you buzzing before. We're trickling in. We see the comments. We see you, Sav Jelly, Andrew Nance. What up? Right back at you. And who was it earlier here, too? Cat
Pat Kage.
There we go. What up? Great to have you.
Sav Jelly, Andrew. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. And appreciate the compliment as well on the thumbnail there, Sav. I appreciate it. We work hard on those
things.
Right,
that's right.
Bros, we say right back to you. Sav Jelly, speaking of bros, Sav Jelly is 101, folks. Like, I have known this gal for less than a year. We've already gone to a UFC card together. It was her first UFC card ever. And my birthday just passed. And, you know, to my surprise, I end up with a gift in the mail from her. And not just any gift, right? It's handmade, which makes it that much more special, like exponentially more special. And it showed up in a custom box. She painted the box to look like Dustin Poirier's hot sauce logo. It was just absolutely masterful stuff. And folks, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't show you the gift. Okay, you got to see this guy. She made me a Dustin Poirier custom doll, complete with the hot sauce bottle and everything. Oh, and by the way, got a little magnet in his hand, so he's always ready to adjust those shorts, folks. Let's go. Damn. This thing is fire. This thing is so absolute fire. If you want one of these, she actually makes them and sells them. You can find her on Instagram. It is the same name you see on the bottom of the screen right now, at Sav Jelly, SavJelly. Jelly, just like everybody else is, seeing how cool this fucking doll is and wanting one of their own. Make sure you hit her up. It is absolutely dope. I'm going to have to find an honorary place in the backdrop for it. But right now, he's co-pilot. He's sitting on the desk with me, helping me get through this work week, folks. And shout out the rest of you folks showing up in the chat. We see you trickling on in. Lazy Bed, we see you, Big Onk. Is it Big Onk or is it Anakin? Which do you prefer? Either way, I'm hoping you went and saw episode 3 in theaters while it's still there. I know we did this weekend. Always fun to see that film on the big screen. Speaking of things that were fun to see on a big screen, I know I enjoyed watching these fights that happened on Saturday on the big screen in my living room. Nano, we have to talk about UFC Kansas City. What an absolute banger of a card from top to bottom. I think there was maybe only one stinker on the entire card, and we'll definitely talk about that ad nauseum. But before then, we got to talk about the opener, which a lot of people thought had potential to be a stinker, right? It was a women's bantamweight bout between Chelsea Chandler and Joselyn Edwards. Now, you might recall Chelsea Chandler as being the woman that ran away from Norma Dumont. And in this one, it was not much of a better showing. She went down in just 35 total strikes from Joselyn Edwards. Joselyn went out there, utilized every inch of reach advantage that she brought to the table. And my goodness, did she make it look smooth? She made it look clean. She made it look easy and mean. You know I'm talking about Joselyn Edwards, folks. She was nasty. She was venomous out there wearing the Venom fight kit, pun intended. But my goodness, Nano, what I'm curious to know is what stood out to you, if anything. Did anything surprise you about this, or are we finally starting to see the Joselyn Edwards that we've been promised for the last couple of years now?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, my brother. I think she definitely is. It's that next evolution of a Joselyn Edwards. And I think I was a little surprised that Chelsea Chandler wasn't able to be more durable than that. She got taken down. She got ragdolled. She just got beaten up. It was a one-sided affair for sure. But if you're a fan of violence, you would have loved seeing what you would have saw on that fight. But those are the big things that stood out to me. But to your point, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. As the one other guy from the 209 infamously coined, not surprised, motherfuckers. I think he might have been sitting there and Joselyn saying the same thing, right? We come out here, we work hard, and you do the right things as these things happen, man. That's a big finish. I'm sure she probably wished she would have got the 50K as well. But man, this was a fun way to start off UFC Kansas City. And I think I saw it here in the chat. Shout out Mason Pennington. Kansas City was a great time. Fire. That's definitely how I felt about this card as well. Straight fire.
I think Mason Pennington speaks for all of us when he says that Kansas City was a great time, especially as far as free fight cards go. I mean, this wasn't even a pay-per-view. And yet, if you look at it on paper and on film, brother, they probably could have charged money for a vast majority of this fight card just because they delivered, right? Now, I don't care to play matchmaker for Joselyn Edwards. I truly think that where she is right now in her career, anybody, as long as they're ranked higher than her, is a good matchup for her and will be a good test. But I digress. My friend, my fellow mate here, we got to move into this next fight in which we were both wrong, right? You're going to take a sip from your glass. I'm going to have to fill mine up to take a sip as well. Because boy, oh boy, did Roberto Romero go out there and not get it done against Timothy Cuamba. I mean, Cuamba, my friend, were we wrong? Pun intended. We're going to make bad jokes throughout this show. If you're not ready, get ready. Maybe you pour up a shot to go along with us. It helps with the bad jokes. Now, Romero didn't look bad in this fight. I think that was the best thing, right? Like, it was a very evenly matched fight for the most part until it wasn't. The moment Cuamba started to run away with it, boy, did he start to run away with it, huh? He just jumped on the train and was like, all right, cool. Choo choo, let's fucking go. I mean, he came out there like Gambit, brother.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
And boy, did he. It took him just 3 minutes and 55 seconds into round number 2 to get it done. Nano, before we take this swig of whiskey, what stood out to you about the young man, Timothy Cuamba, and what do you think is next for him if you have a name on the tip of your tongue, my friend?
Yeah, man. I think the thing that stood out, because to your point, if you all heard us last week, we were rooting for Roberto Romero. We thought he was going to find a way to get it done. I thought he had enough tenacity, enough in the gas tank, and enough skills to go out and stop a Timmy Cuamba. But Vegas knew this was a virtual pick'em, right? I mean, we probably could have flipped the coin and we would have had just as good of odds either way on who was going to be the winner of this fight. And that's kind of what happened, right? Like, it was a good showing for Roberto in that first round. In the second round, it was kind of good until it wasn't. I mean, you got to give credit to his opponent, Timmy Cuamba. I think, again, to answer your question, what stood out on Timmy's side, Timmy. I didn't expect him Timmy. I didn't expect Timmy to make those adjustments in that second round and showcase that kind of fight IQ. These guys are young kids. It was a scrap, but it was a high level scrap. It wasn't a backyard brawl. It was two guys that are young but extremely skilled and going tit for tat in a lot of ways. But felt like Roberto was moving forward, was more active that first round. But again, Timmy kept his composure and was able to square up a clean shot. It was with the flying knee or whatever the kind of finishing move it was in chaos. He was able to go out there and find the marker. I mean, basically like a walk-off home run, basically the game-winning bucket buzzer beater, as I'm wearing my Warriors hat here for the playoffs. Go Dubs. I digress. And even a good little side note here. Shout out Mason again with some good commentary.
Mason bringing the heat. Timothy walking out to right above it by Lil Wayne had the crowd hyped. Haven't heard anyone walk out to that since DC. My guy. I will always love DC. Having met him, having gotten the chance to learn from him for a brief moment in time. That's a sick shout out. And
and Little
it
Wayne.
sounds like were you in attendance, Mason? Were you there, my friend? Because I mean, it sounds like you got some inside intel. The crowd was hyped. I mean, they looked hyped on TV, but did you get to see that pop in person? Maybe seems like it. Andrew Nance, playoff Hemi Butler and Curry Flurry. Let's fucking go, Nano.
You know the vibes.
Buckets.
Sorry, I'm gonna break my desk over here. Hell yeah, you know the vibes.
Let's go.
All right. Good job, champ.
Mason Pennington. Yeah, bro. Second row. Brother.
That's fire.
That man with the flex. Let's go. That is fire.
Smell him that you're so close, man. You probably got some blood on your clothes. My goodness.
Hell yeah. We love a fight night for that reason, man. The best events to go to, and you typically get a good deal on the seats compared to pay-per-view. So good on you, Mason. Glad you were able to make it there, my friend. Yeah, so when it comes to Timothy Cuamba, I don't care to play matchmaker for him. I'll probably start playing matchmaker in this next bout, if I'm being honest. But I mean, what surprised me was just his ability to take a couple shots there in the beginning. His nickname is Twilight, but boy, he could not get put to bed, right? He was just moving forward through it. And as you said, he went out there and landed a flying knee and then followed it up with a little flurry of ground strikes to get the ref to run in there and save the day and stop it. Timmy KO was great. Saves his career with that, Big Ong says. You're not wrong, man. These kids are young, up and coming, and already with 3 losses on his professional career, only 8 wins coming into this. He's almost a 500 fighter at that point, right? So you need to start turning it around and start getting those wins strung together. For Roberto Romero, it's definitely back to the drawing board. He showed promise, but then he showed vast holes in his game moving into that second round, right? Started biting on a little bit too many of the feints. That's what led to the flying knee, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Again, both of these gentlemen are very young in their MMA career, so they will have time to learn and grow and keep moving forward from this. Speaking of people that are moving forward, my goodness, Jacqueline Amarim, this girl is a phenom on the mat, coming in against Polyana Viana. Polyana Viana is someone that we always want to see win. Oh my goodness, I digress. We have a sip of whiskey to do here for that last fight. How can I forget?
Before we get ahead of ourselves here, huh?
Jeez. Before we start talking about these ladies, which there is stuff to talk about here, folks. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to tell you all about it.
They gave us something to talk about.
Cheers, folks, to each and every one of you. There's over 30 in the live chat right now. Let us know how you saw this fight going, and if you saw Jacqueline getting it done. Did you see her getting it done this impressively and this easily? Let us know in the chat, folks. Let us know what your favorite fight was, and let us know what you're drinking or smoking on tonight. We appreciate you for being here, folks. Cheers.
Salute. Let's go.
All right. So, Jacqueline Amarim coming in against Polyana Viana. You know what, Nano? I'm actually going to let you take the lead on this one. I feel like I've been steamrolling through these.
I appreciate that, brother. You know, good little tit for tat here. And I'll leave some meat on the bones. I know I like to get ahead of myself, but this was a fun one, man. 2 fighters that we love going in. A lot of hype behind both of them. Different stages in their career, even though the age gap isn't necessarily that vast. But, man, Jacqueline Amarim has arrived. She is Amarahim, even though she's a woman. So I just want to try to that phrase doesn't transfer over. Let me get back on track here. Man, she showed out, right? I mean, she showed up and she showed out. I think we all knew what her game plan was, and she basically did it from the jump. I don't think she left a few seconds, maybe right after touching hands, slapping hands there out of respect in the center of the octagon. I think she shot for the leg almost immediately at once. And that was her advantage, and she stuck to it, and she did great. She was active. She was constantly looking to punish her opponent. And I love Polyana. She's gritty. She's throwing elbows and kicks. Like, you love to see the fighting effort and the heart from a Polyana Viana, but it just simply, in terms of skills, I mean, Jacqueline, I mean, what are we talking about here? She's a true jiu-jitsu specialist there, and it showed the levels with the grappling. She's a problem. I mean, I'll just say that. She's a problem. I'm excited to talk about some potential matchups, because when I really break it down, she's a tough cookie for a lot of these women in the strawweight division. So we might be talking about her for many, many more years to come. And that was an exciting fight over a really tough opponent in Polyana Viana. But I'll hand it back to you, my brother. What stood out to you, man? I mean, did you expect that kind of one-way traffic? Or, hey, has Jacqueline finally arrived?
Well, I mean, great breakdown first and foremost, as always. And yeah, it is pretty much what we expected, right? Like we talked about this last week. And I think the consensus that we both shared was if this fight is able to go to the ground, it is Jacqueline's fight to lose. And that's exactly what it proved to be. If Polyana was able to keep that fight standing, I do think maybe it would have gone a little bit differently because Amarim is not that gifted of a striker yet. And Viana is gritty, like you said. She will throw elbows in the pocket. She will throw uppercuts in the pocket and get gritty with a little tie clinch action. But Amarim didn't give her a chance to do anything, unfortunately, which is why she landed 23 strikes and 0 of them were considered significant, right? While Amarim landed 29 strikes and 6 were significant. She only attempted to throw 8 significant strikes. So when she was throwing, she was landing. Very, very high accuracy clip on both total strikes and significant strikes, 67.4% and 75%, and 100% takedown accuracy. Went 2 for 2 on the takedowns. Again, made it look extremely easy out there to take down a very game opponent in Polyana Viana. And I think Viana's biggest mistake in this fight was she was willing to accept ground position and try and throw strikes from those positions rather than really hustling and fighting to get back to her feet. You unfortunately need to get back to your feet. Otherwise, you're going to lose that fight 10 out of 10 times against Amarim. So, yeah, it was one-way traffic about as much as it can be. And I mean, what's next for Jacqueline Amarim, right? Like, do you have a name on the tip of your tongue in the women's strawweight division for this young lady?
Well, I mean, looking at where things are now, you got to think, and I guess I'm not sure if things are official yet, but she's got to be in the top 15, right? If not, I assume that's what's next for her at this point. So if she's officially in there, then you got to look what's ahead of her. If not, I'd love to see her get a crack at that top 15. That being said, there is someone that I appreciate that we both like. And, man, might be a little loopy in saying this, but give me a Lupita Godinez. I think that is a good, tough matchup. Both go, I just think they complement each other well in terms of what they bring in to the octagon. So who's truly the better grappler, who's a little bit tougher, and who's worthy of continuing to rise in their career. Give me a little loopy.
I'm not mad at that.
And what do you
definitely not mad at that?
In mind?
I'm not mad at Loopy. But Loopy is already ranked number 11, and her opponent is not ranked at all. So, or the opponent you're suggesting for her. So I think that'd be a pretty steep jump up. I'd like to see her get at least one win in the top 15 before challenging somebody like a Loopy Godinez. Plus, Loopy is on a bit of a run. She's doing really well. That last win was really nice. And we're also going to be interviewing her hopefully this coming weekend. So if you have any questions for Loopy Godinez, let us know in the comments after the episode. We'd love to ask her your questions as well. What's up, Capitan Rafucho? What up, Captain Raf? Hope you're having a great day. Sav Jelly said Jacqueline versus loser of Jillian versus Marina Rodriguez this week would be a good move up for her, and I think Jillian will get that done. I agree. I think Jillian gets it done. We'll definitely do an episode on that. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Marina Rodriguez. But the other name I had on the tip of my tongue, I actually had 2 names, is a Tisha Pennington or Tisha Torres, however you want to remember, or Luana Pinheiro. Both are at the very edge of the top 15. I like the Luana one a little bit more for Jacqueline, and I think that would be a really good matchup as far as test-wise.
I like that a lot too, actually. It's a really good name.
And I mean, if she's able to rear naked choke either of those ladies, that will definitely be saying something.
Facts.
So with that being said, folks, we got to move into one of the most exciting fights of the night. It was a bantamweight bout in which, God damn it, we were both wrong again. It's going to be a night of drinking. We had a bout between Malcolm Wellmaker and Cameron Simon, South Africa's own. Man, I made a joke about it in the episode last week, huh, Nano? They should call him Unwellmaker. And let me tell you, boy, was that right. The guy was all over it when it came to the game plan and the way that he was just out there doing the thing. right? It was nasty work. It was nasty work. I just didn't feel like his opponent had much for him. Cameron Simon he outlanded him. Sure. He outlanded him on total and significant strikes, but it just didn't look like much was going on when he was landing, right? Wellmaker was just moving through it, and it didn't really seem to be phased very much by the shots. And he timed, he waited, he stayed poised, and when he did land his shot, boy, he made it count. He absolutely flatlined Simon. This may be the end of the UFC career for Cameron Simon.
Yeah. I think I'm right there with you, my brother. It's tough, right? I mean, you're to get knocked out like that, and if you really break it down, I mean, not that we're judging him in that sense, but we got to look at those past mistakes and, hey, are you learning? Are you getting better, right? And he is a great striker. He has a good offensive prowess, but he leaves himself exposed, right? And I mean, when you see what he was trying to do and some of those keys that obviously a Malcolm Wellmaker, or AKA Money Maker over here, because he got his $50K bonus, quit his job. He said, I'm committing myself to this. I think I'm a fighter now. Mama, we eating tonight. Get the meatloaf. Sorry, I digress. Yeah, man, this was a fun one. And again, I mean, Malcolm Wellmaker, and we said it, like, if he's going to come in, you put on the tape, this guy's making people go to sleep. He's singing lullabies to a lot of the fighters that he's gone up against. I just had to see a transfer over. And yeah, unfortunately for Cameron Simon, to your point, maybe it's not the UFC, or maybe he could be a boomerang, right? He's still so gosh darn young. Not saying it's a career ender for him, but definitely might need to sidestep or reconsider some things, because when you got someone like a Malcolm Wellmaker, who was, not necessarily on a lot of people's radars, he's making his UFC debut. And hey, maybe he is somebody special, which again, we do want to give him his flowers here. He looked good. He found his opportunity, and he had his moment, right? I mean, that was one of the coolest knockouts I've seen in a while. And just the story and seeing his excitement and everything else, I think just only adds to making me more of a fan. So I will happily drink on Mr. Simon's behalf, and being wrong here. I will eat my words. And as we're doing that, what up, Capitan Rafucho? I see you. He's shouting me out here. Yo, Jive, what happened with your Golden? I know you're a friend of my Golden State Warriors here, man. And I'm telling you what, Jimmy Buckets is what's happening, okay? Draymond Green is what's happening. And, do I need to remind you about Steph, MF, and Curry? Come on, man. Quit playing with us. I digress. What up, Lane? We see you as well out there. And Nance. Wow, I haven't seen this in a while, but I'm going to go ahead and reenact it. A dab. Dab for the dubs, baby. Let's go.
Gotta get it.
Nance.
Gotta get it.
But back to you, brother. I mean, what's next for this kid, right? And how special was that?
I mean, that was definitely special. That counter right was just nasty stuff. Again, perfect timing, perfect placement, and now everybody's talking about it for a reason, right? I do have a name on the tip of my tongue for him as we do this shot. And I think just career-wise, trajectory-wise, this might be perfect. It's got to be Brady Bam Bam Highstand. Winner of the Ultimate Fighter. He's 8-2. Very similar number of fights there with 9-0, 8-2. There's a one professional fight difference there. And last I checked, he doesn't have anything lined up. Yeah, so let's put something on the calendar for him. He had a canceled bout that was supposed to happen back in October against Jake Hadley. He hasn't fought in some time. Not since he got the win over our guy, Garrett Armfield. In that third round via rear naked choke, 1 minute and 52 seconds in. That was all the way back in June last year. So, got to think he's itching for a fight. It's been almost a year.
That's a good call out. And I do like looking at the timing for these fighters, right? Not just throwing out random names. It's like, hey, it kind of has to make sense for both of them. And especially with, with Malcolm just fighting, he's going to need a little bit of time to recover, even though he only needed a few punches and a minute. Actually, maybe to his point, maybe he does want to get in there sooner than later. So that can make more sense than not. Shout out Lane. Steph drawing that technical foul last night screwed up my parlay. Oh, no. Oh, the para bet. Sorry, I read that wrong. either way, hate to see it, my brother. But I'm sure you'll get the
happens.
next one.
It happens.
Yep. Onward and upward. We keep it moving.
We do.
And
speaking of keeping it moving,
responsible.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers to our guy Wellmaker, or as we like to call him here, Unwellmaker. And cheers to you all.
And now the money maker. That might be it.
Cheese.
And he's a welder, so he's the welder money maker. If you want to just add a bunch of,
he quit his job. He quit his job yesterday.
He was past tense.
Was a welder. Like Paul the Welder Felder. That will never be Paul's nickname, but I will always call him that. Inside
Dude,
jokes.
that probably helps with his strength, no?
Yeah, I would definitely assume so. Now, yeah, I mean, unless you have another name on the tip of your tongue, we can move right on into the next bantamweight bout.
I mean, I probably can't come up with a better one than Bam Bam, so I'll stick with that. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. So with that being said, we move right on into the bantamweight division, or rather stay in the bantamweight division for a bout that took place next between Damon Blackshear and Alatang. Just a fun name. Just a fun name to say. Not a fun night, though, for Alatang, right? He got outlanded 127-61. And significant strikes, not much difference, 125-61. I think the big tail of the tape here was volume. Damon Blackshear was just throwing a significant amount more volume than Alatang was. It looked like Alatang was really just trying to find that knockout shot, really trying to get that finish. And I mean, granted, like he was doing bangers, right? But tough. It's tough when you're going against someone who is as resilient as a Damon Blackshear. So yeah, man, I mean, this was a really, really nice showing for one man and a pretty one-dimensional showing for the other. There's a reason they have the same number of wins and one man has 3 more losses, right? Alatang is a good fighter, but when pushed against the type of pressure fighter that Damon Blackshear presents, we've seen him fold before, and this was not shocking to me at all. Nothing really surprised me in this fight. Pretty solid decision win for Damon Blackshear. I like the way he looked out there, and I'm definitely excited to see who he faces next, no matter who it is. Did anything surprise you about either one of these gentlemen on Saturday night?
Not necessarily. I thought Damon, I guess maybe disappointments in some ways that, I think I would have wanted to see a little bit more from Alatang. Just felt like he started to kind of fall into this false sense of hope or this kind of weird rhythm where it's like just trying to find the wow moment or trying to go for the big punch where, if you land the little ones, you get the leg kicks and you start ripping the body and everything else comes from that. But it just felt like, and a lot of that might have just been Damon being the man out there, Mr. Blackshear, just really applying some pressure and being gritty and sneaky. I mean, he's a really good athlete, so sneaky with his entries and moving off the center line, getting Alatang wrapped up so he can't really get open and start to unwind like he probably would usually want to. So yeah, I just felt would have liked to see a little bit more from Alatang's side. And Damon, I mean, he did what he had to do, right? I mean, that first round, it's a little bit of a filler out process, but then he really ran away with it, in my opinion, in the second and third, which left me with a unanimous decision as well for Damon. And in terms of what's next for Mr. Damon, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of great names that as he's sitting on 27th ranked here on a 3-fight win streak, looking at Tapology, our true source of everything. Go check him out. But I do like someone like a Raoni Barcelos. I don't know if that's too rich or if that's maybe, and he's fighting all these young guys. Damon's not necessarily a spring chicken, but boy, is Raoni always willing to throw one down. I just feel like that would be a really
I'm not
good
mad at that call out.
You had anyone else in mind?
I do have somebody else in mind. I do. A young man that people know a phrase more than his name.
Ooh.
I mean, that's who I think, right? Like El Nino Problema, Raul Rosas Jr. He is on a run right now, right? He's looked good in his last few. And, I mean, he's on a 4-fight win streak. This young man is on a hell of a win streak. A 3-fight win streak himself. Like, both up-and-comers in the same division. Both really, really high ceilings, in my opinion. I say, why the hell not, man? Put those guys in there against each other and let's see what happens when the leather flies.
Sign me up for it. I like it. That's a good pick.
I think it's a fun fight. Mason Pennington said, I was in Vegas for Cameron's debut at 282. His last 3 fights were a tough stretch for the kid. 282 was Kaslo? Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow? What's that guy's name? Hold on. UFC 282. Who did he debut against? Steven Kaslo. I remember him because he has the weirdest nickname. Yeah, Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow. This guy. What a great nickname. The best of times, the worst of times. Oh, man. That was a great debut. I remember that debut because I liked Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow. Obviously, I discovered him because of his nickname. And then I saw Cameron Simon go out there and just wreck him. Just wreck him. Yeah, he wrecked Koslow. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Mason. He wrecked the hell out of that guy. Oh, man, that was a fun debut. I hope he climbs his way back up, but he's had a pretty tough skid here since then. Or rather, since a couple fights after that. Now, moving into the featherweight division, we had a bout between Chris Gutierrez and John Castaneda. I think this fight went exactly as we thought it was going to go, Nano. I thought Chris was going to do wily veteran stuff and likely find his way to a wily decision victory. He did exactly that. I'll let you take the lead on this one, and I'll add a little bit of color to the end if you leave any meat on the bone. What were your thoughts on this one, man?
I appreciate it, brother. Because I'm a big Chris El Guapo Gutierrez fan here. So, yeah, man, listen, this was a fun fight. It was a split decision fight. He had to really dig deep and go the full 15 minutes here to get past John Sexy Mexi Castaneda. And it's really for the reasons like I mentioned, or like we talked about last week, where Sexy Mexi, once he kind of gets his grappling going and he starts getting your reads, he's a tricky guy. And he did outland on El Guapo, Chris Gutierrez, even landed an additional takedown. But the big thing is, one, that knockdown that Chris Gutierrez was able to get early on there really changed the narrative, and just the eye pass maybe made me feel like he passed the eyeball test there. But then also it was the variety of strikes. He had 46 significant strikes. He did outland his opponent in that category. And those significant strikes being in the leg kicks, leading up to the body shots, and obviously the knockdown as well, that big moment really was probably the deciding factor there. But correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know if anything else stood out to you, my brother, or if you felt like this, with the striking differential in mind, did you feel like Chris El Guapo did enough to get it done, or did you think Sexy Mexi's wrestling and obviously just being a little bit more busy, because it was a split decision here. So yeah, I wouldn't blame you, but what were your thoughts on this one, my brother?
Yeah, I mean, I think the judges get this one right. I did think John Castaneda was mixing up the martial arts very well. The one takedown he got was very nice. He established a bit of ground control with it, was able to get some reversals off of the 2 takedowns that Chris Gutierrez attempted, and Chris landed 0 of those takedowns. But it really comes down to 2 things. Who landed more damage throughout the fight, and the more damaging strikes, that goes to Chris Gutierrez, 46 compared to 41. And also, who had the bigger moments in the rounds? Chris Gutierrez dropped his opponent in one of those rounds. Castaneda never came close to dropping Chris. So for my money, the right man won. I could understand an argument for the other side. And I'd debate you if you want to have that argument, but I'm going to stand on the hill with Chris in that one. I thought Gutierrez did just enough. Now, what should be next for him? I don't know. Do you have a name on the tip of your tongue?
Man, it's tough because this division is just absolutely stacked. And with someone like a Chris Gutierrez who's coming off a win, who has some of that name stake already, you could throw him in there with just about anybody in the top 25, and I'd say, oof, okay, that's a good matchup. I see you. Or maybe even top 30. I mean, you go down again, it's a laundry list full of guys, right? Top 35, there's a guy like a Nate the Train Landwehr out there waiting for a chance at some blood. So, again, I could go a lot of directions. And Andre Touchy-Feely, another kind of veteran that just feels like they both match up in terms of where they're at in their careers. I can just continue to throw out some more. But what do you think, brother? Is there somebody that really tickles your fancy?
I mean, I had Nate the Train on my list, and I had Billy Q on my list.
Ooh.
I mean, Billy Q is basically like the Bizarro World version of Andre Touchy-Feely, right? So, I like all three of those names. I think if you put those three names in a hat and you pick one out, either way, the fans are going to win that, because that'll be a banger. I think Chris puts on a show against either of those guys, and all three of those guys are definitely going to put on a war against Chris. So, sign me up, man. Speaking of signing me up, one of the very few times I was able to get this young man to side with me on the elder versus the younger. And boy, were we right, folks, in a lightweight division bout between Evan Elder and Gage Young. That's right. You know, I had to make a little elder versus younger joke there, folks. Come on. You come for the breakdowns, you stay for the bad jokes, folks. Now, with that being said, I like Gage Young. I think he's good. He's got a decent skill set. But I also knew that this was going to be a bad matchup for him. I thought that Evan Elder was going to be the stronger, better man. And boy, do I feel confident in saying I was right. The range management that this guy had in that fight was just absolutely nasty work. He went 0 for 3 on takedowns. Oh, but by the way, he didn't need takedowns. He outlanded his opponent 115 to 81. Every single strike that connected in this match, Nano, was considered a significant strike. Every single strike attempted in this match was considered a significant strike. And if you don't believe me, just go watch the fight, folks. You could tell watching the fight that these guys were throwing hard shots, trying to take each other's head off, trying to take each other's legs off. Leg kicks were adding up early on, and then they started switching up to the head. I mean, this was a fight that had it all, especially if you enjoy striking. The only thing it didn't have was a finish, and that's okay. Not every fight has to be a finish as long as it's an entertaining bout, and I thought this was an entertaining bout. A little back and forth action, but again, I just feel like no matter how back and forth it was, Evan Elder was extremely tactical and just seemed to be a step ahead everywhere the fight went. Nato, what are your thoughts on this young man, and how much closer will you be paying attention to him moving forward?
Definitely much closer. You know, I mean, this division is another loaded division in the lightweight division, arguably the deepest on the roster. But this guy, Evan Elder, is just another one that, you have to throw in the name. He looks really, really good. It's hard to really knock him in any way, especially after a performance like he just had this last Saturday night. Gage Young, a lot of talent. I'm sure he'll bounce back. But Evan Elder he has that moxie, as I like to say, right? He's got the frame for this division. He has all the tools. And now I think it's just a matter of checking off the boxes, and those boxes being, tougher and tougher opponents as he continues to rise. So, yeah, I think he's due for another step up in terms of, the talent level. Who that may be, I mean, man, it's tough. But again, another deep division where I just throw out a name in the top 40, and it's like, wow, that'd be pretty fun to watch. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Did you have any names in mind? I'll dish it back here over to you before I continue to ramble over here. But did you have a name?
Yeah, I'd like to see somebody like a Terrence T-Rex McKinney, or maybe like a Mike Beast Boy Davis step in there against Evan Elder. I think both of those would be just absolute bangers. And I mean, you got to give them somebody that's at least in the top 40. If you're feeling very bullish on him and you really want to start building this kid up, maybe you give him to like a Chase the Dream Hooper. But Chase Hooper's on a 5-fight win streak, just took out a UFC legend, so I doubt he'd be willing to sign that dotted line. I wouldn't if I was him.
Yeah, I don't think I would take that one either. But I definitely do like those matchups you're mentioning. If I'm thinking where Evan Elder is in his career, and I know you typically don't like doing this, but hear me out, right? Someone that, can also use a win over a good name like him. Both guys are solid, but maybe not necessarily ready to fight the common household names. What about a Chris Taco Padilla coming off a win as well? He has some namesake value. So because they both fought this, within the last few months, or timing can maybe work out for later this summer or early fall, maybe winter time if they need a little extra time. But that's somebody that poses a lot of threats, and both guys have some namesake, I would call it. What do you think?
That's a dangerous fight.
Icarus? Is it an Icarus?
That's a dangerous fight. I mean, it is, you know, you're possibly burning out a star, right? But I also feel like that could be a situation where both stars rise from that. Like, even if Evan Elder goes out there and loses to a Taco, I still don't think he loses stock as long as it's a good fight. And I mean, come on, bro. You know how I feel about Chris Padilla. I love me some Taco. You know what I'm saying? So sign me up for that fight. Sign me up for that fight all day, every day. Just inject it into my vein, my friend. Speaking of things I want injected into my vein, more Matt Danger Schnell wins, please. I need that. Need that in my life. We put 10 units on Matt Schnell to get it done. And it was 10 units to win 15 and a half. Don't you know? We did it, folks. We did it. We turned that into 15 and a half units. Thank God, because not all our other bets hit. But that's okay. We'll do the math at the end of the show. We'll figure out where we sit now. Thank goodness we were coming in with a little bit of house money stacked aside here that we were playing with, because I think we dug a little bit deeper into it, but I digress. This fight was a nasty one, right? Matt Schnell entered the octagon on a 3-fight losing streak. Most recent loss coming by way of Cody Durden via submission back in September of 2024, when he had previously contemplated retirement, but then chose to come back for one more fight. Jimmy Flick also was coming off of a loss in his previous fight. But man, what a fight this was for as long as it lasted, right? And it lasted the distance. So it was a fight for entirety. Flick initiated early grappling exchanges. We knew this was going to be the case, right? Flick is a grappler. He attempted a couple leg grabs, led Schnell to being seated against the fence. Schnell did a really great job defending, actually out-grappled the grappler on many of these exchanges, attempted multiple submissions, tried to go for that triangle choke from the bottom, showcasing his slick submission skills there. And then in round 2, Flick secured, again, an early takedown, worked from half guard, tried to advance position, but Schnell ended up getting a nice little sweep and reversing position there, landing on top, delivered some nasty ground and pound elbows, and both fighters actually attempted guillotines across the round. Schnell survived Flick's attempt, which was much more dangerous than his own, and then he responded with his own, right? And then, of course, in round 3, Schnell continued to display effective striking, just overtaking the fight slowly but surely, and utilized his takedown defense. Flick tried to press the action, but Schnell is just too composed of a veteran, and his technique allowed him to control the range and distance and just coast through that round to secure the victory. Again, solid showing for Schnell. Outlanded his opponent 88-48 and outlanded on him on significant strikes 35-12. This is the slickest Schnell has looked in a while. And I got to be honest, if he's down to keep fighting, I'd love to see him fight anybody on that New Orleans card if he can have a quick turnaround.
I love that. I love that, brother. Yeah, and honestly, someone like a Tim Elliott or anybody that's, again, on the back nine of the career, not under 35, but can still want to go out there and put on a show, I'm all for it. And honestly, in terms of the breakdown, I think you absolutely nailed it, my brother. I mean, I could just regurgitate it, but really just want to give my 2 cents and say, so freaking proud of our boy Matt Schnell going out there and get it done, man. He really, really stepped up to the occasion. Jimmy Flick's still a tough guy. He had some moments, made some mistakes, but really I think it's more so Matt Schnell forcing his hand and just being first to act. And, when you're striking first, you're most likely to go out there and take care of business. So love that for Matt Schnell. And onward and upward, baby. Let's go.
Hell yes. Now, as far as what's next for the young man, we had a couple of really great shouts out here in the chat. Schnell versus Inner G or Alexandro Costa next. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at either of those. I also wouldn't mind seeing him fight like a, I don't know. Gosh, what's the kid's name? Is it Tatsuro? I love it, Tahira? That could be a fun fight, right? Sign me up for that. Edgar Chairez, says Big Unk. That might be a really fun one, too. And John Dong. What's up, guys? What's up, you, my friend? Hope you're having a great night. Thanks for joining us.
What up?
Shout out Lord of Pies. I'm interested in Romero versus Garcia on Friday. Anyone watching that? Yeah, dude. I'll definitely be watching that. I don't love the things that he says outside of the square circle necessarily all the time, but big fan of King Ryan Garcia, my friend. I'll definitely be watching that. I think the kid is extremely talented, and he might be his own worst enemy. So with that being said, we move on into the next fight here, which took place in the main card. In the middleweight division, it was about between Ikram Aliskerov and Andre Muniz. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. Nano, do you want to take the lead on this and tell people how quick of a fight this was and what took place?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it was all business for Ikram Aliskerov here. He was the heavy favorite coming in, and well, we should have known what was going to go out there and happen. He went out and took care of business. Andre Muniz, we know he's not necessarily a big striker, and unfortunately, he really didn't have much to say when it came to that match on Saturday. Ikram just, what do I call it, man? He ran over him. I mean, he just absolutely outclassed him. Andre tried to neutralize him and take him down, but it just wasn't enough. Really wasn't enough. Ikram's a problem, man. Like we talked about earlier, his only blemish in his career is a loss to one of the best in the division ever in a Robert Whittaker. And then the other one is a Khamzat Chimaev, who's the lone wolf, the freak of nature, right? The guy that might be at the top of the heap one day. If he ever fights, I don't know. There's all this news. Hopefully they actually do fight or not. But like Big Ong saying, man, big bounce back win, big statement win. And at this point, it's like, hey, give the man what he wants. I don't know who you call out, or I don't know who makes the most sense. Obviously, it's got to be someone ranked above him, just based on that type of performance. But I'll leave that maybe for the end of our discussion here. What did you think, brother? Did you see him? Did you see it going that way? Obviously, we knew it was in the realm of possibility. But what were your thoughts, brother, as you were watching it unfold?
Well, I mean, I said this last week, right? That I thought Ikram Aliskerov is a son of a gun. He's only lost to Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker. So, look, he made a strong statement out there at UFC Kansas City, getting the finish over Andre Muniz in the first round via TKO with just 6 seconds left on the clock. Both guys started very cautiously. Aliskerov found his timing and stunned Muniz late in the round, had that slick left hook that landed, and then he just swarmed him with punches until the ref had to step in. He had no other choice. It was a textbook display of patience and precision from the Dagestani striker, who rebounded impressively from his KO loss to Robert Whittaker. For the man across from him, Andre Muniz, like, this marks 3 losses out of his last 4, right, Nano? And it raises serious questions about his striking defense and durability at the top level in the upper echelon of the UFC. Meanwhile, Aliskerov proves he's still a legit threat in the middleweight division. I think a matchup with somebody like a Nasruddin Imavov or a Roman Dolidze would probably be a really good litmus test for him to see how he continues his rise here, and if he can work his way back up to another fight with a Khamzat down the line or a Robert Whittaker.
I like that a lot. I think that makes sense.
Since most UFC heavyweights suck, how would that Hinan Ferreira guy do in UFC heavyweight division? That's a great question. Probably pretty well. What a great bounce back for Ikram. Yeah, Big Unk. Huge bounce back for him. Ikram versus Vettori or Brendan Allen if you want to get him ranked. Ooh.
Big Unk.
Ooh.
I'm right there with you, my brother. Vettori was honestly the name I thought. I didn't want to say that Vittori's kind of turning into the gatekeeper, but that's kind of the range.
I don't know if Vettori fights again after the death of his brother, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, because his brother just died in a house fire a couple weeks ago.
Jeez.
Yeah, left a pan on the stove and didn't wake up, unfortunately. I know Vittori's pretty torn up about that. Brendan Allen's a good shout. I don't know why, though. I feel like Brendan Allen possibly does bad things to Ikram.
Yeah.
He's slick on the feet.
He is. That's our boy. But that's probably the right caliber of opponent. I think that's next for.
I agree. I think that's at the very least, that's in the right zip code, right? It's in the realm of reality. I like that fight a lot. Speaking of fights I liked a lot. My goodness. Randy Rude Boy Brown. Sheesh. Coming in there in the welterweight division against the Nicholas Dalby. Look, we told you, folks, Nicholas Dalby would win this fight if Randy Brown was Brazilian and they were fighting in Brazil. Unfortunately, he is not. He is not Brazilian. No. He is the Rude Boy. He is the man. He is the myth. He is the legend. And he is just an absolute beast. Fighting out of Queens, New York, and just making it look nasty in there. Gritty with it. He made Nicholas Dalby face plant so hard. It was sickening, but also so thrilling. My goodness. It was a gritty fight. It was a back and forth fight. Nicholas Dalby was landing in some of the exchanges, but in the exchanges, if Dalby was landing 2, Randy was landing 4 or 5. If Dalby was landing 1, Randy was landing 2 or 3. And that's why the strikes were just about 2-1 in total strikes and significant strikes here. More so significant strikes in favor of Randy Brown. The guy is just proving to be constantly game every time in and time out. Picture perfect KO like Max versus Justin. Exactly. The way he fell was almost identical to the way Justin fell as well. Just nasty stuff. Does Randy deserve Los Prates after the Dalby win? Did you just pull the name out of my hat, Matua? Sheesh. Nano, before we start throwing names out at people, what were your thoughts on this fight, my guy?
Man, I was ecstatic. I was jumping up and down. I was bragging about how me and Randy Brown are best friends, even though we're not. But he's a fan of the pod, and we're a fan of him and everything he does. So I was super excited to see him go out there and from pillar to post, just put on an absolute show. All right. And I didn't just think so. Dana White and the Brash thought so as well, as he earned Fight of the Night bonus. Big shout out. I know that money's going to go a long way. And, you know, man, the thing with Randy Brown is, like, how do you not want to root for the guy? He has the look. He has the appeal. He has that aura. He's got that moxie. And he's got all the freaking skills. He's got heavy hands. He's a big son of a gun for the division. And really his only blemish outside of a really tough loss to Brian Battle was a loss to a JDM, a Jack Della Maddalena. I know he wants that one back. That might be too rich for a lot of people's blood.
And he was winning that Jackie Della Maddalena fight up until the moment he lost it.
Exactly.
And we both thought he won the Brian Battle fight, with all due respect. So
with all due.
Shout out.
Big shout out with the utmost. But hell no. Randy Brown, man, he called out for a top 15. I'd love to see it happen. When I look at the list, I don't know how it all fits. There's one guy, though, that I think honestly can kind of make sense, even though he pulled out recently. But Jeff Hands of Steel Neal. I don't know if he's still in the equation, but I'd love to see Randy Brown get that opportunity to crack into that kind of echelon. If not, I mean, is a Michael Page somebody that can be in the conversation? A Michael Morales? Like, I'll take any of those names, honestly.
I think Michael Morales is a good shout, but I think somebody said it in the chat already here. So Matua said, does Randy deserve Los Prates after that Dalby win? The answer is yes. They were already scheduled to fight back in November, which was also pointed out by Lazy Bet here. Prates was booked to face Randy Brown prior to the Jeff Neal booking, which is true. He was scheduled to face Carlos Prates back in November, and it got canceled right before the battle fight. So, I mean, for my money, Prates coming off a loss, Rude Boy coming off a win. One's going up, maybe one's going down. Gotta think it's gonna be a fun fight. And Mason Pennington, Dalby's nose shifted bad. It was crazy to witness. Mason, let me tell you, as somebody whose nose does this, yeah, it didn't look good. It's the best party trick. It's the only reason I haven't gotten it fixed, because then I won't be able to do that cool thing anymore.
It's 101.
The Juice Man. Oh, yeah. The big bad wolf is here. What's good, everybody?
We see you.
The juice is
What
loose.
up, dude?
Let's go. That nose looked painful. Yeah, brother. That nose did look painful. I literally said it in, I think I was in S-Dog's live stream when he was watching it. And as soon as that strike happened, that uppercut, I was like, oh, he just shattered Dalby's nose. And so he's like, oh no, did he? And then he looks up at the screen and sees him get hit again. I was like, oh, he did shatter it. That was so bad. John Dong said, how would MVP versus Strickland at middleweight go? Juice Man says MVP, and I have to agree. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's got to be MVP.
I think so.
The only way you're going to get somebody that can beat MVP, if I'm being honest with you, is
send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
That's the only way, bro. That's the only way. Trying to get another dude to go out there and strike with him, especially someone with an iCarly style fighting. I don't think it's the move, man. Speaking of not the move, Nano. Speaking of not the move, we had a bout that took place in the middleweight division. It was arguably the biggest stinker of the card. That's right, folks. It was a bout between Michel Pereira, my fitness consigliere, Michel, and his opponent, Abus Magomedov, who we should just start calling a bus because he basically ran over his opponent like a bus. Dude, I got to be honest with you. I'm not a huge Sean Strickland fan as far as his fight style and such, or what he says outside of the octagon, if I'm being honest with you. But I've also never seen somebody beat up an opponent so bad that opponent then stole their whole fight style. Sean Strickland beat Abus Magomedov so bad that Abus took Sean Strickland's fight style all the way down to the weird marching forward and throwing the knee, step knees. He was fighting identically to the way that Sean Strickland fights. Oh, and by the way, it won him the fucking fight against someone who should have been a better fighter than him. I don't like Michel. Me neither, Juice Man. Me neither. And let me tell you something. This is the first time in my life I didn't bet against him. First time in my life I bet on him. And he does that. Never bet on this guy again. I'm never betting against this guy again. If he's fighting, I'm staying away from the betting line on this guy. That Michel Pereira performance smelled awfully fishy. I agree. You've got energy to come out and dance to They Not Like Us, but you don't have energy to actually fight like a better fighter. Come on. That was just a weird fight, man. That was a weird fight. And with that being said, we were both on Michel Pereira. So I'm pouring one up. I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah. A wise man once said, "We suck again."
Wise man once said, there are three things that are guaranteed in life. Water is wet. Fire is hot. You should never bet on or against Michel Pereira.
Yeah.
Those are the only three guarantees in life.
Well,
folks, if you're drinking, drink with us. If you're not, I don't know, raw dog some air, drink some water. If you're like Sterling, stay away from Sprite because it'll attack you. Maybe drink a Capri Sun. Either way, folks, cheers to all 56 of you that are tuned in live right now and locked in, and to each and every one of you that are watching the replay. We appreciate you all.
Salud. Let's go.
Man. So now, what were your thoughts on this very weird performance from Michel Pereira?
Yeah, I thought it was a frustrating fight. 150 total strikes over the 15 minutes. Just the pace. I mean, well, and half of it was just the weird nature of Michel. He's just a straight enigma. I don't want to call him an anomaly because I don't want to taint our name, okay? Because it's not the good kind, okay? But I do like what I saw from Abus. I mean, he was trying to apply some pressure. He was going out there and really had to do everything. He did everything he had to do to get it done. Poured it on early and often. And then, even when Michel tried to do his last minute heroics, Abus is just too talented of a fighter. And so in terms of what's next for him, now on a 3-fight win streak after, some of those losses, man, I mean, maybe we give him the other guy at Extreme Couture in a Chris Action Man Curtis. I don't know. Just a thought. What you think, brother? You like it? It's not too bad.
I'm not mad at it. I'm definitely not mad at it. I was thinking a different direction.
Oh, he is top 15 now. Good call out. Who said that in the chat?
Yeah. That was Big Onk.
Big Onk.
Shout out Big Onk. That Cash Money comment. Now Abus is ranked, and now that he is ranked, Abus rhymes with a moose. My cat's name is Bucky Moose, so maybe I am now a fan of Abus because he rhymes with a moose. I actually have a moose asleep right next to me in his little cat bed. So cute. Now, with that being said, I did have a different name. I was thinking something else that rhymes with a moose. Abus rhymes with a moose, which also rhymes with secret juice. I was thinking Paulo Costa. Bit of a fun segue, right?
I like that. That was a good one. That was a good little
Matua, thanks for laying it out for me to play it out. I really appreciate you. So with that being said, my brother, I'm here for that fight. I think that's a fun fight. I mean, what do you think? Secret Juice versus Abus?
I think that's the one. I do think that's the one. I didn't realize he was ranked. My, Action Man spiel kind of looks a little silly now. So let's go with the juice is loose.
Apparently Costa is booked against Kopylov. Fuck me. Give him the loser of that fight.
There it is.
Give him the loser of that fight then.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm standing on that business. I am standing on that business. And speaking of standing on business, we move into the featherweight division, in which we were wrong again. It was a bout between Giga Chikadze, the owner of the Giga Kick, and David Onama, which, if you don't know that inside story, we might tell it again after another shot or two. Look, folks, another standout performance for David Onama. He secured a unanimous decision victory over Giga Chikadze. The fight was, it was an interesting one, right? Onama showcased exactly what we've already seen from him. Significant striking prowess, tactical discipline. What we did see that was a bit different was his ability to do this over 3 rounds. He seemed a lot better equipped for this 3-round bout than he had in the past. He efficiently and effectively neutralized Giga Chikadze's renowned kicking game. Like I said, owner and creator of the Giga Kick. Every time his opponent would try and throw that Giga Kick, he would just throw out something quick, right? Just throw out flicker a jab at him, just to push him back, push him off balance. It was nice. It was nice. And this is a really great call out. Youssef Zalal was in Onama's corner, and he was actually spitting really good advice to him throughout the entire fight. I love seeing that. And that's another reason we're seeing somebody like Youssef Zalal improve in the caliber in which he is. Because you know what they say, if you can teach something, then you truly understand it. He's not only teaching, he is coaching and giving advice to other fighters that are still fighting. So, I mean, this is incredible to see. Onama did look really good out there. It was a close fight. I could have seen it going either way, to be honest with you. I think the takedowns were the big differentiator here. David Onama landed 3 of 3. His opponent landed 0, and the strikes were just simply too close. So you have to go to that kind of stat in order to find a winner here. Yeah, impressive performance for a David Onama out here, and I definitely look forward to seeing what's next for the guy. He's truly started to turn it around after the loss that he suffered against Nate Landwehr. He's now on a 4-fight win streak, and he's looking good doing it, man. He's looking good doing it. What were your thoughts? What surprised you the most about a David Onama or his opponent Giga Chikadze in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think we knew David was going to have that wrestling game in his background, the grappling, really, really strong. I mean, he's a big physical dude. I just thought Giga was going to have a little bit more, right? Obviously, we were wrong on this one. We'll be doing a little shot of whiskey here, or a little drink of our naughty water, just to remind y'all.
Naughty water? A little bit. I love naughty water.
I love me some naughty water. And so, man, Giga's making me drink some naughty water because that was frustrating to watch. But no, David Onama is legit, man. He's legit. And if you just don't have an answer for that kind of game, you can only do so much, unless you're going to go out there and put their lights out. But David Onama, and as you're finding ranked opponents, it's just less and less likely to happen. So you got to develop that part of the game there. And that's where I think if you're Giga, some good things to draw on or to maybe really hone in on, because aside from that, just if it were just pure strike and X's and O's, I think Giga really could have had a path for victory there. But David Onama and his takedowns made me upset. and that's my 2 cents. But yeah, in terms of what's next for him, he's sitting in the 14th spot. It sounds like Zalal was in his corner, so I guess he's not fighting him. Who else is there? Honestly, Calvin Kattar might just be the move. Honestly, coming off a loss, he has that 15th spot. Were you thinking that too?
I was thinking Dan Ige.
Oh, don't do my boy Dan Ige like that.
Or Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson's coming off a loss.
That might be the one. That might be the one. Oh, he's just gonna take his legs.
Oh, did Lazy Man just say the same shit?
Yeah.
Onama versus Ige and Giga versus Sean Woodson. All right, well there you go. Giga versus Sean Woodson. Just fucking inject that. I need that in my life. That can headline an Apex card, bro. Like, Giga versus Sean Woodson would be banker.
That would be fire,
bro. Like literally, that shit just got me fired up. That's a striker's delight, bro. like I have a twinkle in my eye now. Just thinking about that fight.
There we go.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Oh, so with that being said, folks, we did say we'll do a shot for this guy for us being wrong, but we'll also direct the shot towards something different, right? Towards a little Anthony Smith, to the legends that we get to watch fight, the ones that rise, the ones that fall, the ones that do it all. We appreciate everything that you do inside and outside of the cage. And appreciate you leaving it all in there, man. No matter how it ends or how it started, the journey is more important than the end of the start, right? So we appreciate your journey inside the octagon, and may the next chapter bless you, my friend. Cheers to you, Anthony.
Salute. Boy, was that emotional or what? Did any of y'all, get an allergy kick during watching that, or is it just me?
Whew, man,
I did realize how much the UFC.
sad.
Yeah, it was sad. I did realize how much the UFC loves Anthony Lionheart Smith, because that was probably the longest retirement I could recall in quite some time.
Stipe didn't even get one.
Are you serious? One of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Stipe didn't even get a retirement package. They didn't play nothing. They were like, "You just got knocked out by John Jones. This is the end of the road for you. How does it feel, Anthony? Or how does it feel, Stipe?"
Yikes. Ay. Yeah, so I mean, I guess with all that considered, I guess if the UFC loves him that much, I guess we gotta love him that much too. But no, all jokes aside, to fight for that long and to be someone that's always been counted out, that's a fighter, and you got to respect it, got to appreciate it. But that was a lot. I just didn't expect it, if I'm being honest. But it was a good fight. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't even say that because he got his butt whooped. But
I mean, Big Onk said in the chat here, Smith went out bad.
Yeah.
What a bloody mess.
Yes.
Matua said, replace Anthony Smith with Frank Shamrock in the UFC Hall of Fame. Oof. Going in.
I don't even know if I put him up there in that realm, but
nah. I mean, I would not say Anthony Smith anywhere near the UFC Hall of Fame. I was like 15 feet to the right of the dude. Lionheart was flipping off in the crowd. I was confused AF what was going on at first. Mason, he was flipping you off, bro.
Yeah,
it was you. This guy. No, I guess the guy was like talking shit or something. I don't know. I don't even know what the whole thing was, but
jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you're retiring. Why are you flipping off some homie in the crowd? Stipe got a retirement package a week later in Macau. Yeah, lazy bed. Fucking kidding me? Exactly. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Come on. Ridiculous. Zhang is a beast. He's the Sergey Pavlovich of light heavyweight. Holy fuck, that's a great call. That is a great comparison. He is the Sergey Pavlovich of light heavyweight. The striking fluidity, the style in which that he fights. Damn, man. The only thing I'm mad about you saying that is that I didn't think of it first. Great call out there, Big Hunk. Lazy Bed, bless Anthony Smith's heart, but he did not deserve the best produced retirement package to date, complete with a least jelly roll song. Crikey!
Well said.
Brother.
Well said.
All I got to say is when I fly my happy ass to New Orleans in July or June, in July, right after fucking fight week for this Dustin Poirier retirement fight, if we don't get a brand new Lil Wayne song or they don't fucking raise James Brown from the dead to sing The Boss in person, we riot, bro. We fucking riot on the streets of Bourbon. Man, I'm telling you, Dustin Poirier better have like the best retirement package after seeing Anthony Smith get that. But I digress. I mean, we've talked more about the retirement package than we have about the fact that, I mean, this fight went down as a 7-1 differential in strikes. Nano, 11-76 and a 6-1 strike differential on significant strikes. 63-10. I mean, when you say bloody mess, bloody mess, baby. Mason, I'll see you at the top or maybe at the bottom near the cage, apparently, since that's where you sit. And I don't always sit there, but if it's a Poirier fight, I'll probably be there.
Hey, there you
man.
go.
If you're not already following me on Twitter /X or Instagram, shoot me a follow on there. Shoot me a DM. We'll stay in touch so we can meet up at 318. I'll buy you a shot, my friend. And thanks for joining, man. If you haven't already subscribed here, make sure you do that too. Cannot wait for that fight card. Cannot wait for that night. Cannot wait for that week. Man. No, start saving. Gonna drag you out there. You already know.
Let's go.
We'll put it on the card. Put it on the credit card. Again, Zhang Mingyang, great call out. Great call out from Big Unk. He is the Sergey Pavlovich of light heavyweight. So with that being said, Nano, do you have a name on the tip of your tongue for what should be next for the Sergey Pavlovich of light heavyweight?
Yeah, man. For the guy putting on for China, the Mountain Tiger here in Zhang Mingyang. Honestly, look no further than the guy now ranked above him since he's 14. Why not go ahead and just go 13 and knock on his neighbor's door there for a Bogdan Guskov? I think that's the move. Honestly, I think that's the move. I do see that here. Matua, I might have ripped you, or maybe you manifested my response there. But yeah, I think Zhang versus Bogdan's good. Rakic, that's not a bad one. Might be a little rich for my blood. Might be a little too sweet. But I mean, at the same time, if Zhang's retiring, an Anthony Lionheart, he's not to say he can't go out there and shoot a shot.
Oh man,
this is high at 6, 14-6. It's like, I wouldn't.
It's tough.
It's a big push for a Zhang. I probably wouldn't do that.
I mean, honestly, after beating somebody that got a 15-minute fucking retirement package,
could make sense.
I don't think there is a too high. I mean, I'm bullish enough to say, like, maybe you put him in there against a fucking Volkan Ozdemir. Maybe you put him in there even higher than that against, I don't know, Jan Blachowicz coming off 2 back-to-back losses. He's sitting at number 6, but
definitely
I mean,
could. Come on. Yeah, definitely could. It's all about the timing, really, and who's willing to answer the bell.
Did anyone not take Zhang round 1 KO, says Lane? The fact that Smith specifically asked for Zhang due with a 12-fight round 1 finish streak for his retire fight is mind-boggling. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And no, I didn't. And I'm not even mad that I didn't take first round Zhang. I'm mad that you didn't tell me to last week in the live chat, Lane. Counting on you for this kind of stuff. Where you at? Did you take that bet? And what were the odds on that? Were they still favored odds? Matua said, match Zhang against Americans as much as they can. Keep the U.S. versus China narrative alive. Oh, my God. Oh, geez. Zhang hasn't lost since 2019. He's been fighting professionally since he was 14. What a stud.
Sheesh.
What a stud. Yeah, put him against Jan Blachowicz. Number 6 in the world. Number 5 in the world, actually, on the official UFC rankings. Why not? Skyrocket that kid. I think he does bad things to most people he fights. Zhang needs to go full 80s WWF and work that Kami angle. He should have a sneaky little sniveling manager. I agree, dude. Get him like a Paul Heyman type. Just going in there behind him.
There it is.
I'm telling you, brother. That'd be nice. The UFC really should start doing that. I mean, they're owned by the same company. Come on. TKO. You know how to tell a story. You're doing it for WWE.
Come on. Production's
We're
there.
We're watching. Okay. And I mean, the dude's nickname is the Mountain Tiger. You can have his manager come out wearing like a tiger skin coat every time or something like super fucking cheesy. I mean, my mind is running with this right now. Hunter, call me up. I've got ideas. Speaking of ideas, I have an idea. Let's pour up one more shot for the fact that we were both hella fucking wrong on this main event of the evening, man, because
It's time
for us to talk about this Ian Machado Garry fight and how he went out there and systematically dismantled Carlos Sigahechi Prates. My fucking goodness, bro. I mean, has there ever been a more disappointing situation?
It's been a while. This one was definitely frustrating. I mean, just to set the set the tone. I mean, the first round had 22 strikes total. Carlos Prates had 7. And I think, unfortunately, no matter what Ian Garry did, that was already a recipe for disaster for our boy, Mr. Cigarettes, and smoking stogies and smoking
fucking cigahatchy.
Man, that was brutal. It was kind of tough for me to watch at times. And that 5th round was crazy. I just don't know why Carlos didn't do that in the 1st round, right?
Crazy frustrating. The 5th round was crazy frustrating. I'm excited to talk about it. Let's do this last fucking shot, brother.
Salute.
Cheers to not being right and to even when we're not right, having the right people in the chat. We appreciate each and every one of you folks. Cheers to you.
Cheers to that. Yep. We'll drink to being humbled. We'll drink to, licking our wounds. And we'll drink to some good violence. At the end of the day, we got a little bit of it. I just wanted more, over 25 minutes if it was going to go that long. And Ian Garry, man, I mean, he's earned some respect. He had a really good promo. I think he cut after it all, where it's like, and and it speaks for itself. I could probably look at the numbers, but every time we're seeing him, it's on 2 weeks notice, 4 days notice, and he's going out and he's doing it at the top level. I can only respect the mindset and now the skills that he's displaying, even though at times it's a little boring. But hey, you got to Carlos Prates in there, and we saw in the 5th round. He could have done that at any point. So the fact that Machado, Garry was able to go and I would say skate by with the victory here is it was impressive, man. It was impressive. But what were your thoughts? I want to hear your full breakdown here. And all 55 of us, I guess 56, including myself, want to hear more in-depth MMA-Anomaly breakdown here. And give it to us raw with no filter. Come on, baby.
The only way I know how to deliver it is no filter, baby. Look, the main event of UFC Kansas City was one that was both enthusiastic, exciting, and also lackluster at the same time. All at the same time, right? We saw Ian Machado Garry return to the win column with a unanimous decision victory over Carlos Prates. Judges' scorecards read 48-47, 48-47, and 49-46, which I definitely could understand the 49-46 in Garry's favor. Garry showcased very strong strategy. Utilized his movement with the footwork, the feints, and wrestling to control the bout across the entire distance of 5 rounds. This fight went the opposite of how it was supposed to go, right? Everybody, including myself, was saying that for the first 7.5 to 8 minutes of this fight, it's the most dangerous Prates is going to be. That proved to be the furthest thing from the truth because he simply didn't do anything in those rounds. It was like he knew that he wouldn't be able to put Ian away early on, so he waited till the late rounds to really start opening up. Big mistake. If he would have fought in rounds 1, 2, and 3 the way that he tried to in round 5, he would have won this fight by knockout. I truly believe that. He had Ian Garry on skates in that 5th round, and it was not a skill deficit issue in this fight. He didn't lose because Ian was more skilled than him. He lost because Ian was smarter than him. And I told you last week that the best thing about Prates is his mind, is his fight IQ. Is his shot selection. And he proved me wrong in this fight. He truly did. He went out there, he rocked his opponent, he hurt his opponent. His opponent was literally crawling on all fours to get away from him desperately. And he hovered over him with a fist ball that didn't throw anything. He let him clear the cobwebs. He let him recover. He let him not walk away, but crawl away with victory. Tightly clenched in his grasp. Prates just simply came out way too late. And, it sucks to see. But I've said this in the chat for Sterling's S-Dog MMA's podcast today. So I'm going to say it in ours. And that is this. Ian Garry is like fire for this sport. Okay? And there's 2 different types of fire. Fire can be a beautiful thing, right? It can heat our food. It can warm our homes when it's cold out. It can literally keep us alive. Or fire can rage on and burn everything beautiful in its path, leaving behind nothing but devastation and sadness. That's the kind of fire that Ian Garry is. Because he doesn't go out and drive for a finish, he fights a tactical fight and sometimes boring fight. He doesn't leave behind anything exciting. He just burns down beautiful things. He fights hype trains like a Shavkat Rakhmonov that's on a, 17 fight win streak, all by finish. And he takes away the one most exciting thing about Shavkat. He lost and he still took that from him.
Yeah.
Insane. He goes out there against Carlos Prates, finishing machine. Takes away his excitement. And takes his win. Like, the guy is a raging fire in the worst way. I mean, Lane said Prates' distance management needs a little work. Otherwise, he looks spot on. Let me tell you why he lost his fight more than anything. And it goes back to, look, I'm not an Ian Garry fan by any way, shape, or form. But I will always call a spade a spade. I will always be honest, and I will always keep it 100 with you. Ian Garry had one of the best game plans I've seen in years. Best weapon of Carlos Prates is his left hand. He hovers it out there, throws it out of southpaw, lands that long range cross. He'll even like hook it in or uppercut it. He can throw it from any distance and any angle and connect with it like a sniper rifle, right? Like it's got a heat-seeking beacon on it. But his opponent went out there and systematically dismantled that left hand, right? He pushed him away with kicks, and as soon as he'd get the range, he would go high with the kicks up top, kicking and abusing that left hand, making it hurt, making him have to drop it. And then every time he would try and throw that hand, Garry was circling out to the left side, constantly making him chase him. So even if he could land it, it's going to land at like 50, maybe 40% power, steam. Because Garry's circling outside of the power. So, yeah, Prates' best shots is just on that left side. Exactly, Matua. Adjustments were not made after the second round. All chase, no cutting off. Lack of combos. I agree. That's the thing that he needs to learn, and that's exactly what let me down about Prates is I thought he was much smarter than that with his fight IQ. There was so much chasing in there, and it's footwork 101. Like you've got to cut off the cage. You got to cut off the space. If you chase, chances are he's making you chase him for a reason. He's on his bicycle, and you're trying to catch him on your Chevrolet legs, bro. You will tire before he does 9 out of 10 times in that situation. It's like a Roy Jones Jr. You chase Roy Jones Jr., you're going to get fucking peppered all night, dude. That's exactly what happened. He chased him. He got peppered all night. It was a tough showing for a Carlos Prates fan. And then, of course, the throwing down the cigarette, the air cigarette, and stomping it out afterwards was cold-blooded by Ian Machado Garry. So what I say to that is this. I say, what the let's just do Buck versus the Cuck. You know what I'm saying? Sign him up. I think that's the fight to make.
Damn. Okay.
Assuming Buckley gets that win.
Yeah, that could happen. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do with both of these guys, honestly. I don't even know, man. I think Ian's kind of at that point for me. It's like, I kind of want to see him fight everyone, like in a great way. I want to see how he matches up. He has the IQ, he has all the skills, and he's getting better, right? Obviously, a Shavkat's up there, and so like he maybe won't get that opportunity for a little while. But I mean, a Sean Brady, Leon,
that's the other name I like is Sean Brady.
I mean, shoot, man, for a true number one title kind of contender status or whatever. I mean, you throw him in there with anybody. It's And if not, I mean, dude, the alternative, like a Leon, a Kamaru, who's on the back nine, I wouldn't love that for him, but he's still ranked. So it's like, what are you going to do with them? And like we're seeing here, kick him in the head. MMA podcast, shout out. Garry is a legend for the big cigarette stomp celebration. That is pretty fire. That is definitely.
What up, Keith? Go kick him in the head. If you're not already subscribed to his channel, make sure you check that out. It is a baller ass channel. Pat Kage said, cigarette emoji, cigahechi. Will the future reach a title? Ooh, maybe. I used to say no, but now I'm thinking yes. Lane said yes. Ian has a great presence on the mic. He doesn't miss a syllable. Fair. Definitely fair. I just wish he'd stop doing so much of the Conor McGregor copycat routine.
Yeah, it's tough. But I think he's finding his middle ground. When you're young, you're brash and you're very forward in your 20s, but I think he'll slowly start to calm down. Lane, Ian is a freaking can't.
What a fucking can't. Pretty sure she was typing that in Leroy's accent.
Yeah, I'll say soon, but I was trying to be somewhat PC over here. Hilarious, Lane. We see you. The juice is loose. Ian's frustrating to Rod, super cringe. Want to be Connor? Yeah, you gotta respect it. Who the fuck is that guy? Which is hilarious.
He literally said that line so many times. And
shut your fucking mouth. You'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
I mean, like,
literally that one.
He said that one so many times. You'll do fucking nothing. I agree with Nano. Ian beginning to find his own voice and tone on that mic and during interviews. So Matua, I agree with both of you guys, but I also wish he'd pick a lane, right? Because this thing happens oftentimes where like he'll say, I mean, he'll like pull a prank on somebody, or he'll like try and lean into the shtick and be a bad guy, like wearing the mugshot picture and things like that. And like he does so many negative, annoying little like kind of, I don't know, like bad guy troll kind of things. But then after the fight or right before the fight, he'll like, oh, here's my kid. Let's take pictures together. And like he tries to play the good guy role too. Pick a lane. Like I think somebody said it earlier about Zhang Mingyang, like leaning into the whole like China versus America shtick and playing the heel. Ian Garry should just play full heel. Like honestly, be the bad guy.
Yeah, if he did the Kobe Covington kind of heel move, not that he's not making great money now, I'm sure, but he might have catapulted himself or can catapult himself into that kind of Connor status. But it has to be authentic, though. That's the thing. Or just really, really good acting and really scripted out, like a Chael Sonnen, or obviously Kobe Covington comes to mind as well when you think of heels or villains in the UFC. And with Ian Garry,
let's just stick to comparing him to Kobe. He'll never be a Chael.
Well, that's where it's like it's two different levels, right? It's levels. There's only one. There's only one Chael. We all know that. And he doesn't have that kind of moxie, and that's the reality, right? I mean, he's not that slick. Not everyone is a wordsmith or can do those types of things, but he can't fight, and that we do appreciate. So, and Lane just roasting out here. I see you, and maybe who knows? It is Machado Garry now.
Lazy Bed said Garry is slowly falling into the Strickland role of promising blood and carnage and then fighting to a point decision. 100%. That's what he does. But he can fight. That's it. I agree. He can fight. The Machado Garry has only moved to Brazil to be closer to Layla's wife. That's a fact. The Machado Garry's only moved to Brazil to be closer to Layla's boyfriend. Oh, fucking hell. I mean, you should know that that's also Ian Machado Garry's nutritionist. When Layla's ex comes over, Ian doesn't cry. He simply says, "Oh fuck, I'm the worst." But it's true. That is actually his nutritionist. Like I didn't make that up. I wish I did. I wish I was that diabolical, but no, that's a real thing. Lane practices 4 hours a day hating on Ian Garry.
Oh gosh.
Practice in real time. She just goes through the different podcasts and YouTubes and just live comments on it. And you know what? We love her for it. Now, we've talked about what's next for Ian Garry. For Prates, it should either be Jeff Neal or Randy Rude Boy Brown.
Yeah, I literally agree. I literally would not throw anyone else out there but those two.
I feel like you have to reschedule one of the two canceled bouts. That's the only way to go because they're both so damn good. Like they would have been better bouts than what we got.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah,
make it happen.
You got to do that. Ian Garry very well could be a champ one day. Man, I agree.
He definitely has the tools. He's still young enough where
I agree.
he's going to have his chances, or at least a chance for sure.
Again, like a year or two ago, I would have disagreed with you on that. But I mean, every time I want to hate the guy, he gets that much better.
Yeah. No, he's growing and growing like we are. Come out.
You already know, baby. And now I definitely can't say it about Colby Covington, so I'll start saying it about somebody else that I'm not a big fan of their mouthpiece, but I love watching them fight. I used to say this line about Colby all the time. Now it goes to Ian Garry. I think the worst thing about Ian Garry might be how good he is. People hate on him for so many things, but the worst thing about him is how good he is inside the octagon. Because if he wasn't good, nobody'd be talking about him. He would disappear overnight because he'd start losing fights. Even when he loses a fight, like, did we talk about Shavkat Rakhmonov for his incredible performance, or did we talk about the fact that he almost got choked out in the last round by Ian Garry? Did we talk about the fact that the closest person to getting finished in that fight was Shavkat Rakhmonov? He loses fights and still generates people talking about him more than the winner.
Yeah, that's true.
Lane said how good he is. The fuck? Lane, I'm not saying I'm a fan. I'm saying how good he is inside the octagon. He goes out there and wins fights against all odds. Like, at first he was out there going against, semi-cans. Now we're putting him against people that genuinely should beat him. So, I mean, guy's hella good. And he's only getting better, folks. He is only getting better. Trying to think, were there any? Oh, there were actually new fight announcements, right? I'm gonna talk about some of these announcements real quick. Oh, before we talk about that, can we just talk about UFC's Cedric Dumas is in jail again for his 15th arrest since 2014. These charges today include felony battery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and domestic battery. Guy has twice as many mugshots as he has UFC fights.
Oh, man.
That is tough. Man, interesting fight got announced 10 hours ago. We got Jordan the Monkey King Levitt, who I haven't heard about in a very long time, coming back to the UFC for UFC Vegas 107 on May 31st against Kurt the Hurt Hollaba.
Hollaba now. Woo, woo.
Woo, woo. Hollabag, youngin. Woo, woo. Bro, you already know. I am excited as hell about this fight. Two studs in very, very different ways. One's more of a grappling stud. The other's more of a striking stud. You know I'm going to lean towards my guy Kurt the Hurt in this one. And speaking of folks we're always excited to see in or out of the octagon. Looks like I got here just in time. What up, Kraus? How we doing, bro? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far.
Yeah, just in time for the main show. Great to have you, Crossover. Let's go.
So what do you think about that fight, man? Jordan the Monkey King Levitt coming in against Kurt the Hurt Hollaba.
That's a fun one. That's definitely a fun one, man. I think it's a good opportunity for our boy Kurt Hollaba now to get in the winner's column. But we do know Jordan Levitt comes out and he's got a really, really good grapple game. So it's a tale of it's a tale of the tape, right? It's a tale as old as time. Is the grappler going to beat the striker? Really,
song as old as rhyme. They say Beauty and the Beast.
Hell yeah, yep. There it is.
Beauty and the Beast. It's like you and me, Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, you're the beauty, I'm the beast. So, folks, I mean, that's one fight that got announced, but before we call it a show, got to talk about UFC 317, aka International Fight Week. We're going to be there in Vegas, boots on the ground. We have a handful of fights announced. I'm curious if you are thinking this is shaping up to be a great international fight week, or if you think we really need more announcements to start to foam at the mouth here. So far, we have Alessandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. Banger. Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Manel Kape. banger in the same weight class. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kapilov. Michael Johnson, which, I mean, that guy's been fighting as long as Obi-Wan fought in the freaking Galactic War, versus Daniel Zellhuber. And then you got Yonata Denise coming in against Justin Tafa. Bad man.
That's pretty solid so far. I mean, obviously, when you look at years past and well, even just last year, right? It was pretty juicy. So I would say, to your point, to be foaming at the mouth or to feel like it's an improvement from last year, we're going to need some mo. But if I'm trying to be more, I guess, conservative, I mean, still at least maybe one more banger or one like, oh, shit, didn't see that coming would really tickle my fancy for sure.
Banger flyweight action. Absolutely cross. Bangers in the flyweights. Bangers. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, obviously the most exciting fight on the card, probably that Alessandro Pantoja versus Kai Kara France fight. I'll be honest though, Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber is a bit of a banger for me. Michael Johnson goes out there and beats people he's not supposed to beat, and Zellhuber on paper is supposed to beat him. So to me, that means it's going to be a bit of a banger, and it's not going to be one-way traffic. So I'd imagine we're going to get a fun little line on our guy Michael Johnson. And I'm not saying that we're going to bet on him if that's the case. And I'm not saying that if we bet on him, you should bet on him too.
I can make you rich.
But I am saying it should be a good time. Okay? So make sure you tune in for that one, folks. We will definitely be living and jiving for that one. Folks in the chat, we appreciate each and every one of you. We got Juice Man, we got Matua, we got Lane, we got Crossover MMA. Make sure you subscribe to that man's channel. We got Big Onk, we got Lazy Bed, we got Lord of Pies, not to be confused with Lord of Flies. Great movie, great book. And all the way at the beginning, since the very beginning, we've had Cat Pat Kage. We got the newcomer in the chat tonight. Man's been dropping absolute banger comments. You know I'm talking about a Mason Pennington. Look, all I'm trying to say is that we appreciate each and every one of you. Nano, you still got a sip left in that cup?
I do.
I'll pour one up.
Say the best for last.
Let's go.
We appreciate y'all rocking with us every week here, you know, helping us grow the community. And that's really what it is. It's for the people, by the people, right? It wouldn't be what it is without y'all. All right, it would just be me and this guy doing what we've been doing for years prior, shooting the breeze, talking a little bit of shop, but it means the world to us. We appreciate you. We appreciate violence, but honestly, you know, want to spread some positivity and happiness, which is why we do this thing. So to all that, to good health, to some good times, to the best of times, as we say around here, and to keep on going and keep on growing. Salute.
Let's go. Cheers, folks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Juice Man. And to answer your question, you know, and to channel a little bit of what's the movie with Affleck? I'm blanking out now, but it's not, you know, who, it's just whose car we taking is my response to Juice Man.
Oh, yeah. The one with Hawkeye.
Yep. Oh man, I'm such a movie guy, and this
The Town.
I knew it was. I want to say something Boston related, but The Town. Yep.
I'm gonna ask you to do something with me right now, okay? A lot of people are gonna get hurt. You can't tell anybody about it. You definitely can't tell anybody about it. You in? Oh, and I can't tell you about it. Who's got we taking? Like, who's got we taking? That's so fire, bro.
You know,
The Town, wicked retarded. Matua, let's go. Amberly Rose, haven't seen you in the chat before. Welcome to the show.
What is up?
Hi, Lord of Pies.
Guys, great to have you, Amber Lee Rose.
Love seeing new people in the chat. Hey, y'all. Hi, Lazy. Hi, Amberly Rose. Great name. Great pick. Hope you're a big fan of MMA, and hope you become a big fan of us, because we're already a big fan of you. Aflac Affleck doing the pull-ups in the beginning of the movie gets me hype, dude. Let's fucking go.
Absolutely.
And I'll also die on the hill that Ben Affleck played a hell of a Batman. I mean, if you've read the comics, which I obviously have, I mean, I've got like 7, 8 tattoos, and a vast majority of them are comic book related. So, that definitely does it for me. It gets me pumped up. Nope, never been here, but recognize some people. Let's go. Love to see that. I'm a big MMA fan. Well, hey, so are we. That's what we talk about all the time. So if you're a big MMA fan, as long as you don't hate the sound of our voice, I mean, even if you hate the look of our face, you could just not look at the screen and at least get by just listening to us. We appreciate you being here. Juice Man, Matua, that's low-key zesty.
Definitely zesty.
Come on, Juice Man. Don't be like that. Lane, Affleck's pull-up form was a little off. Just saying. I mean, if you want to see the best pull-ups, go look. Not a great movie, but great pull-up scene. Go watch Never Back Down 2 with Michael J. White doing them typewriter pull-ups where he goes left to right and then does the half circles. Yeah. Brother, I taught myself how to do those after watching that movie, and let me tell you, they don't feel good. But they do feel good at the same time, if you know what I'm saying. So
no zest in that, but absolutely, I agree.
Speaking of no zest, Jalen is up in the chat. I love it here, dude. I love it when you're here.
We love it here.
Shout out Jalen making it to the first year we went to International Fight Week. What a time! What a time! My goodness. Juiceman562 haha says Matua. Cheers at Crossover MMA at Amberly Rose. Lord of Pies.
Thank you, Lord of the Pies.
Wait, Blake Lively was moving them hits gets me hyped. Juice Man.
Sheesh.
That is the opposite of zesty.
Blake Lively, yeah.
We all agree. And we all agree. Shout out Deadpool. Shout out Ryan Reynolds. My goodness, has he come a long way since Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, huh?
Sheesh.
That was the first show he was in.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I was gonna say I don't know if I think that might be before your time. I literally remember him from that show.
When you said that, I thought of him as like the hostess in that one other movie. Todd Duffy.
Matua, cultured as a son of a bitch. Todd Duffy was in that movie. Yes, he was.
Michael J. White's the man, and Todd Duffy didn't last long, but he was the boy.
Dude, he was jacked city in that movie, bro.
Oh my gosh.
That was like fresh off his like I think he was the third fastest knockout in UFC history at the time.
Pretty sure, probably. Beast.
2 days off. We joined an MMA gym. You're joining the MMA gym? Hell yeah. Cat Pat Kage. Let's go. What gym are you joining? Where are you if you don't mind me asking, what city are you near? I definitely don't mind looking and doing some review reading and stuff like that, digging to see what some good gyms are around you. I do that for a lot of my friends. Shout out Nano's nephew. I did the same thing for his parents.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude, shout out Michael J. White in Spawn. That is a fire movie. Well ahead of its time. Great throwback of a film.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Man. BCPG Chitin MMA. British Columbia? Chitin MMA. Oh, cool. They have a Tapology page. That's a good sign. 3 out of 4 of their fighters have Chuck Norris as their picture on Tapology.
Sick. Group photos.
Is that just like their stock photo when a fighter doesn't have a picture and that's a new thing for me? What's happening? That's hilarious. But I mean, good for them. They have fighters. It looks like a decent gym out in British Columbia. I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you, Cat Pat. Have you trained before, or is this a new venture for you? Are you just now starting your MMA journey? Either way, we're excited to see it come to fruition, and we're excited to hear your progress, man. As we say every episode of the show, keep on going, keep on growing. Are we on Tapology? We are not. We should be. We should definitely make like one of the members things and start doing our picks on there, because we do our picks on here every week. Might as well just add them there as well.
Right.
I never got the Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee debate. I mean, what's the debate? Bruce Lee taught Chuck Norris, so Bruce Lee would beat Chuck Norris.
I think just because Chuck Norris got so big in like culture back then, you know, the Chuck Norris jokes and everything, but the real ones, the real ones.
Chuck Norris also did fight in competitions, and Bruce Lee technically never did. He only fought in street fights and the one fight against Wong Jack Man, which had limited witnesses. So, oh, and I have a group on Tapology. Wow, bro. It's crazy that even though you're not on camera, you're still flexing bigger than me and Nano. That's a wild feat, brother.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All the flexes from crossover. All right. So send me an invite.
He's talking
Bruce
about the movie,
Lee,
I'm pretty
only
sure.
man to kill Chuck, or Chuck let him unalive him.
We're talking movies now. I kind of want to watch that again now. That was a good one. Great movie.
Great movie. Wait, what did Lane say about Tom Hardy and Warrior? Tom Hardy and Warrior, take a look. I mean, I'm scrolling up to see if there's another comment that ties to this, but otherwise I can only assume that you're just talking about the physique he is in that movie, which every time I do back day at the gym, I do a little extra on traps because of the way Tom Hardy looked in Warrior. I mean, Trap City, bitch. Trap City, bitch. My goodness.
I mean, just look no further than behind my head right now where my finger's pointing to know who the real GOAT is. Come on, yo.
You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I have him right here, kicking through the frame. Right there.
Hey, that's sick.
In the yellow jumpsuit. Yeah. Hear that, Tua? Trap City. Bruce Lee was just a good yapper and a nice actor. Matua, fight me, bro. Don't come at us with that, bro. Come on now. Come on. And crossover. Amberly Rose on Tapology. Make sure you shoot her an invite to your Tapology group. And I will be making an account on Tapology right after this. And I'm going to hold Nano accountable too. He's going to do the same shit.
There we go. Let's do it. I'm going to eat some lasagna.
You can trust him. You can trust him. It's not like he's a jive turkey or anything.
Well, you'd be surprised. No, you can't. You can trust me. Just with, with things. No, I digress. I'm not going to go there.
Hold up. Amberly Rose in the house. She said, I got all my picks right, but 2 last week. I'm bragging because that's a record for me. Let's go.
Great week. Way to go.
I mean, if you were in the UK, they'd start like a random song chant for you. Amberly Rose, Amberly Rose. They do that for every soccer player, I feel. So great job though, for real. Like going all but 2 on your picks is not only impressive, but extremely impressive when it's on a week like this week when most of us got them wrong. It was a tough night for picks, I'll be honest. I never get my picks wrong but 1. All right. We hear the lion of the fucking jungle roaring. Okay, we know who the king is, Juice Man. Jeremy Stevens KO Josh Emmett. Y'all, if y'all didn't know. I mean, that would be a fun one. That'd be a fun one. Cat Pat Kage says, I need all the booze emojis. My friend, this is the place. Man. Oh, JK said Juice Man. Okay, I was going to say, if you only ever get 1 pick wrong, you are a fucking savage and should be rich living in a mansion right now if you're placing bets, my friend. And if you're holding out on us, then, I mean, I'm upset with you. But with that being said, folks, we could ramble on with you folks all night. We appreciate all 60 of you in here right now. If you're watching on Twitter or somewhere other than YouTube, do us a huge favor. Come on over to YouTube. Whether you're new, old, returning, anywhere in between, do us a huge, huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. You know how it works. After the video is fully posted, please leave a comment. It helps with the almighty algorithm. And, we appreciate the hell out of that. So, folks, help us out with those comments. Help us out with the subs. And if you do nothing else I just asked you to do, like I said before, the only thing we really, truly ask every single time that we're going to hold you accountable for are these two things. We want you to keep on going. We want you to keep on growing, folks. We'll see you next episode.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.